Hey everyone, welcome to the stream with Hutch. And Hutch already started streaming, I believe, on his Twitch channel. And I'll just make sure that people can hear me watching my own stream. See if it works. Hutch? Yeah, so let me see. Okay, so this is the tournament page. You can see the same thing more or less from my angle of the stream and his angle. The difference is that you'll see, if you watch his side of the stream, you'll probably hear the same thing and just see his pointer making the moves. I will be making some arrows that he probably will not see on my end, so maybe you can learn something from it. And well, it seems like we are good to go. So 4 minutes and a half to start. And for those of you who don't know, Hutch is a YouTube star. He has almost 1 million subscribers. He is doing mostly gaming videos, but he does quite a bit of chess, and I believe that he will improve quite rapidly if he comes back to chess. And after a long break, he's agreed to do this collaboration, which I'm very happy.
All right, Tal, are you there?
Yes. Hello.
Well, I just want to say welcome to my stream. It's for all my people that are watching right now. This is Tal. You're a grandmaster in Tel Aviv.
Yes.
And how old are you again? You're pretty young, right?
24. Yeah. 24 years
and
old.
your life is basically chess, yeah?
Yes. Everything revolves around chess and chess improvement. Nothing else.
Did you know that you loved chess like the first time you played it?
Well, no. I wasn't even thinking I was good. I remember losing to all the other players there when I was like 7. And yeah, only later on it was a bit better.
How was it because Searching for Bobby Fischer came out and you just wanted to do this?
No. I actually have no idea what happened. I didn't play chess for like 4 or 5 years, and then I went to a tournament randomly, and I was basically playing soccer every day in the meantime. And then in that tournament, it was the national championships. I just beat everyone for no reason. And
so you did have a good amount of natural skill when it came to this game?
Probably, but I wasn't aware of it until 4 or 5 years later. So, yeah, I guess.
I was going to ask you, man, what do you think is more important if you're trying to reach grandmaster status? Do you think it is natural aptitude for problem solving and spatial recognition and pattern recognition, or is it practice and studying and dedication? Like what ratio do you think is more important?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I feel like there is a book by Malcolm Gladwell. I think it's called The Tipping Point. I read it in Hebrew, so I'm not sure about the title, but the main idea there was that being smart enough for something, no matter what it is, or talented enough, is already as good as you need to be, and then it's all about getting enough time and efforts invested wisely in the topic. And chess is no different. And he also actually uses chess as one of the examples. So, of course, someone who's more talented will improve faster, but there is some barrier of hours that if someone who's intelligent enough will invest, then they can probably reach the grandmaster level.
Have you witnessed someone overcome sort of natural barriers? So if let's say someone wasn't naturally inclined to be a genius when it came to chess, have you witnessed people sort of overcome that through practice and studying and that sort of thing?
Overcome being a bit less talented, yeah?
Yeah, less talented than someone who was, say, someone like you or Paul Morphy or Bobby Fischer or whatever.
Well, actually, I think about myself in this context because I'm usually working quite hard on chess, and the people around me, especially younger players who are around the same level, seems so much more talented, and I have to compensate by just beating at my craft like daily, no matter how bad the results are. And it doesn't matter who you compare yourself to. Just it feels like trying to improve at every level is the key in this regard.
Okay, well, we got about 40 seconds before this thing fires up here. So you are going... I'd prefer it if you didn't obviously tell me what the best move is.
Yeah, me too.
But if you want to give me like a hint, that would be awesome.
Let's make sure I'm following you and that I can see your game. It's supposed to start...
About 18 seconds is what it says on my screen.
So I'll quickly mention the guideline that I kind of forgot about my advice to you. And
it just threw me in. Just threw me into the game here.
Yes, exactly.
All right, here we go. So I'm going D4.
Nice. Okay, so D5. I see the game. So
Yep.
C4.
So, this player is 1459. This is around where I'm at on another website.
Nice.
But this is around where the rating where I'm at.
Yes. So okay, I'll use 2 questions as guidelines. I think asking the right questions is the key in chess. We all have brains that can solve problems, but we need to be able to focus them on the right topics. So the 2 questions we're going to use is first, what's my opponent's threat after every move? And assuming he has no threat, then we want to improve the worst placed piece. Or just improve a piece in a very effective way. So now, does he have a threat? No. So now we need to improve the pieces somehow. So normally I'm assuming almost everyone knows that developing the pieces and castling as quickly as possible is good while conquering the center. Again, does he have a threat?
Not yet, but he's just pinning a piece, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a threat.
So now, when he develops the knight, will he have a threat against you?
He will, yeah. My e-pawn will be hanging.
Exactly. You will want to take on e4. So now that you know the threat, it's much easier to respond. So what you would like to do is to respond to the threat while developing a piece, ideally.
Boom.
Exactly. I was thinking about another move, but this is probably even better. So,
were you thinking knight e2?
I was thinking about queen d3, but it's good to develop the light pieces before the queen and the rook.
See, now I have to take here, right?
If you don't take, what might happen?
Well, if I don't take, if I back off to, let's say, to h4, then he could push his pawn to g5, and then I would lose that pawn, and he'd be doubling up on my knight over there.
Exactly. So
all right, I'm gonna take it.
So you identify the threat, and now it's very easy to respond. Now, after he captures, probably with the queen, will he have a threat?
Not yet. But I'm thinking either knight e2 or knight f3. I don't know which one is correct.
You want to put it as as central as possible.
All right, let's do it.
Yes. So f3 and c3 are the perfect squares for the knights.
Man, this is cool, man. I really like having a grandmaster in my ear. It makes my life a lot easier.
So now, of course, if he doesn't have a threat, castling would be a nice idea.
Sorry, I muted you there because I had to call out someone on the stream.
So castling is the next step in your development, probably. Then you're gonna want to put the rooks somewhere useful, ideally an open file. I'm sure most people know what an open file is, but for those who don't, it's a file when there are no pawns of your color. So
files go up and down, and rows go side to side for my casual viewers here.
Exactly.
All right, I'll go ahead and castle here.
Yes. So you're subconsciously asking yourself, if he has a threat, you realize there was nothing, you continue your plans. So the opening stage, once you know the basics, it's relatively easy not to go wrong because you just develop. But even the best players in the world go wrong here every now and then. So now, again, does he threatening anything?
He's threatening a pawn, but he wouldn't take that. I mean,
is it defended?
I'm thinking it's defended twice. He's attacking it twice.
Yes.
What about queen to b3 right now?
So you want to develop the queen, ideally with a threat. That's nice. Are you familiar with the term of tempo in chess?
Yes.
Yes.
Time or tempo.
Yeah. So gaining a tempo is like gaining a move, and or making a move with a threat. So you kind of make it with a tempo. So
Do you want to explain what tempo is to some casual viewers that might be
well,
watching on my stream right now?
I believe I'm not sure I remember correctly. It's time in Italian or something.
Well, this
but
is really
I
good.
might
This
be
is
wrong.
good. This is good for me, right?
Well, first of all, does he threaten anything?
He's not threatening anything now.
Okay.
He's threatening a pawn, but he wouldn't take that because it's bad for the
Yes.
exchange. So if I take his knight on a3,
Yes.
that would remove his defender for the bishop, right?
Yes. And
Right.
now he's probably forced to do something. Do you know which move he's forced to play?
He would probably take my knight here.
Yes, so you have
With
to
the- with the-
anticipate this move. In regular chess, when you have hours to think, it doesn't matter. But in Blitz, it's very important to anticipate moves so you can think on his turn. So if he takes the knight, then once again, you need to ask yourself, what is his threat? Obviously, it's to capture a hanging piece of yours. And then you need to decide whether you want to respond to his last move or go away with your bishop. And I personally don't know the answer myself. But just identifying all the factors in the position makes it much easier to think.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't think about that. Those are the easy moves that I miss.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Bishop
him
takes
taking
C3.
I could play c3.
You can play.
What'd you say?
No, you mean bishop takes c3 are the easy moves that you miss?
Yeah. I didn't even really consider that an option for him when I was thinking. I got excited. I'm like, I'm gonna remove his defender and take his bishop. It's
Yes.
gonna be awesome.
By the way, what you were doing here kind of automatically is a good process, which is noticing the hanging pieces of the opponent. And he didn't notice
Whoa.
the move himself, probably. So now, well, this is now like checkers in a way, yeah? Because if you capture more pieces, then you can only capture once per turn. At the end, you'll be up material, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You don't really
that's
need
gotta-
to calculate even, because you captured first, so at the end of the sequence, you'll probably be up something. Especially
Am
now.
I?
Yeah?
Am I up 2 pieces? I
Yes,
am.
for the moment, and you can only capture once. And now again, there is first you ask yourself what is his threat. You don't have to rush. You have 2 minutes lead.
My bishop's hanging over here, so I got to
Yeah,
take care
but
of that.
wait.
And
First of all, this is the threat. But the question that I always ask myself is also which is the worst placed piece? Which piece would I like to improve, regardless of the threat? I want to be aware of it, and if I could do it with tempo, as we mentioned earlier, every move with tempo is gold in chess.
okay. What if I swing my rook over to d1?
Yes, and by the way, which rook? Just a technical question.
My a rook.
So it doesn't really matter in this case, but technically I would like to have both files for both rooks. So now it doesn't matter because you're up so much material, but I would prefer to have the F rook there so that the A rook can be on the other open file in the future if necessary.
I like it.
So,
I like your thinking. So now he's probably got to go to c5 here, right?
So actually, he just has to defend the bishop. So either c5 or b6. In both cases, he will still have the same threat as on the previous move. And
Yeah, I have a pretty good threat down there too with the rook to d8.
yeah.
He's got to think about that
Yeah,
too.
but don't rush. Just if you have time, here it's blitz, but if you have time, normally after each move that you want to play, before making it, you have to ask yourself, am I missing something direct? And well, for example, if he goes queen b6, rook d8 looks very tempting, right?
It does. It really does.
But there might be an issue.
I don't know what that issue is.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just don't
All right. So
rush.
there he stops up. Well, you can't do that. So where do I want to put this bishop is the
Okay,
question.
central as possible is ideal if you don't get punished for it. So this is a nice diagonal for it, a very juicy one. So now is kind of
I can-
out of moves already.
I can push my pawn on my A pawn to remove his defense of that bishop, but I'm guessing he'll probably want to move that bishop
Yeah.
here pretty soon.
By the way, now we can identify your position as winning, yeah?
Yeah, I'd feel pretty good about it. I've
assuming-
given up worse positions than this, but so I don't want to
Yeah.
jinx it. But
Yeah, but basically, when you have a winning position, you no longer have to make like amazing moves. You just have to play technical chess, which means you have to avoid missing any of his threats. You of course have to do it throughout the entire game, but now it's if you will prevent all of his threats, you will just win easily. So now
what
you have to be.
the hell was that?
Yeah, he wants to get a bishop out. He doesn't feel very well about his bishop and rook, and I agree with him. But unfortunately, first
I don't think that was the way to do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do that.
So you don't have to ask me about every move because obviously trusting yourself is key, not only in chess.
But in life, Tal.
Yes.
But in life.
I believe
Yes.
every metaphor in chess is relevant for life.
I'm actually going to work through all of my daddy issues on this stream through chess with your advice.
Exactly.
It's amazing. So now can't I do some devious shit right there? How's he going to deal with that?
So I prefer to be disciplined, even though it might or might not be a very good move. I want to say it doesn't matter if you make the best moves as long as you prevent his threats, because everything else will happen on its own. Let's say, because you're up so much material.
Oh, I see.
It's called
That wasn't
prophylactic thinking.
Prophylactic thinking. Yeah, I got that from. You heard of who's the guy the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer was about? What's the kid's name in that again? Josh.
Joshua something. I don't remember. No, I actually didn't watch the movie until today, and I mean to this day.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I watched
Josh
all the other chess
Waitzkin.
movies.
Josh Waitzkin. Yeah, he used to.
Yeah, I remember the name, but
He did a series for a program called Chessmaster, an old chess program.
Yes.
And he would walk you through his old games. And he used to use that word a lot, the prophylaxis.
yes,
Doing something to prevent your opponent from doing something later.
yes. And prophylactic thinking, in my opinion, is like it's not only a tool; it's like a mindset that you have. It like a person who is able to think prophylactically, not only in chess, is like a Zen master. He can just control everything around him. He just doesn't miss anything, and it comes automatically after a while. So basically, now, once again, does he have a threat if it were his move?
He does not. No.
Yeah, and of course we can. So let's just continue. The second question: which is the worst placed piece that you have?
Maybe my A rook.
Exactly. But the ideal spot for it will probably be on the D file, right?
Yeah, you want to double up those rooks.
Exactly. But where do you double the rooks?
Boom.
Exactly. So you see, you played rook d8, but the key was the A rook.
Why is that?
Because the rook d8 move just allowed the A rook to join the game. Of course, you're threatening some mating attacks and whatnot, but it doesn't matter if you see everything, as long as you have the right process of thinking, because then you'll find the best moves even if you don't realize that they are so good. So you don't have to see the mating threats until they are there, and it's your move.
I had no idea that I was a genius before having your tutelage here today. You're helping me discover my own genius. What about the next move? What if I want to get my queen over to that G file. That would be nice. Well, what the hell do I do with my my knight?
So, first question, does he have a threat?
He's threatening both my bishop and my rook, but my bishop is protected. So I think the logical thing to do is just that, right?
So you can avoid all the, let's call it potential mess in your head by simply asking the right question at the right time. And I think that it's not only that you're a genius, it's like that all of us have a potential to be geniuses with our brain, but we need to be able to focus it on the right, to channel it, let's say, in a healthy way. So,
Well, this is good.
yes, so you kind of rushed there.
Ah, I did, and I messed up. I did a bad thing.
But actually, now don't rush.
It's not too bad.
Normally, what people do after they realize they made a mistake, they rush even more. So there's no need for emotions in this case. And
Well, I think I should trade this rook and then take his bishop, right?
yes. So just make sure in this case, because even if you don't take this bishop, you'll be winning. But make sure there are no tricks in case you do.
I don't see any tricks. I'm going for it.
But don't make the next move before thinking. That's another key thing to know. There's no point to decide on 2-3 moves in advance. You can think separately on every single move.
I feel good. I'm taking it.
So you see Queen D1 as his idea, right?
Yeah, but my knight's there, so we're
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, I'm aware that you probably saw it, but I just want to make sure that even sometimes we are blind just because we are not disciplined enough in these cases. And it happened to me actually a few days ago when I had a similar case. And I kind of trusted my opponent that such a case where he can mate me will work, and I didn't even bother looking. He was also a grandmaster, and yeah, and
I want you to
Yes?
want you to shoot from the hip and tell me straight up, what do you think the odds are of me beating a grandmaster, given my exceptional performance today?
Well, it depends on the time control, to be honest. But now be very careful. Does he have a threat?
He does. He's got a checkmate.
So
Not a
what's
big
the
deal.
classical way to respond to such?
Give my king a little bit of room to breathe. Just give him a
Exactly.
little bit of room. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that one there.
Nice, and he resigned. And you see, G3 was the winning move, not any piece capture. G3 was showing him that you're a prophylaxis master.
Exactly.
You
I am a
could have played Bishop
grandmaster.
F5 and try to mate him, and maybe computer will show this as a stronger move, but you just showed him that he has no hope.
Oh yeah, that bishop might have. Yeah, that bishop would have fucked him up down there, huh?
But it doesn't matter. It
Okay,
doesn't matter how
alright.
long it takes you to mate him, as long as he has no hope. to
All
avoid
right.
losing.
Let me call out some people who subbed to the stream real quick. 1 second.
Sure. So, in the meantime, I'll make sure that people can hear you on my end.
All right, so I'm just gonna hit back to tournament, right?
Yes, exactly. So
All right.
I think that now that we won 2 games in a row, we have the flame on our side, which means we will have double points if for every.
Wait. Well, no, we only won one game there,
this
right?
is the first game, right? Oh, so
Yeah,
it
that
feels
was just
it
the
felt
first
like
one.
we beat him so many times in this game that I'm already
It
experiencing.
feels like I have broken through all my old chess barriers, and I'm discovering my true potential here. That's what it feels like.
And it's probably what
I
it
feel-
is, if you say it.
I'm probably in the top 5% of the world in terms of raw skill and work ethic. Okay, here we go. What's his rating? 1955?
Okay, so
No. All
now
right,
it's
let's
very
go.
important to be disciplined, okay?
Yeah, I can't. Oh God. All right.
Okay, so now does he have a threat?
He does not.
Basically, not. It doesn't threat. He's not threatening to capture anything, but he wants to achieve something with this move. He's preparing something.
He's preparing to push to e4.
Yeah, so you don't want
Oh.
it. Exactly. But the key was to realize what he wants.
Okay.
Then it's very easy. So now, once again, does he have a threat?
Well, it's easy when you're a genius. He does not, but maybe he wants to go to like knight b4 or knight b5.
Yeah, he wants it, but then you will have knight a6 to protect, and we don't care if he moves the same piece twice.
We don't give a shit. All right, let's
So-
do this.
Nice, developing. He also wants to develop. Now, again, nice. So, no threat, right?
Nothing.
Okay, let's continue our development. By the way, castling comes first before getting out these 2 pieces.
Okay, all right.
In the order of the opening development. But of course, there is some flexibility. Now, again, does he have a threat?
He does not.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem with the bishop on c8.
Okay.
And actually, if the knight was still on b8, we would have played b6 and bishop a6, and the knight would defend the bishop. But now we can probably try to find another place for it, which is on b7. So let's just get it out there. b6 and bishop b7. This is a bit less centralized, but it's also feasible.
Okay. You want me to push b6 there first?
Yeah, and then they get the bishop to the other diagonal. Like b7 is in the long diagonal, so there's more potential for him to become a beast later. Okay, now once again, does he have a threat?
He does not. No.
Okay.
What?
So
should I?
Normally we would like to develop our queen, but there will be a problem with the c7 pawn.
e7 pawn.
c7.
Okay.
The bishop is attacking the pawn. So what I would like to do is to somehow maybe defend this pawn. So maybe we can take the bishop that's not in the center and bring it back to the center, or to
not
a5. Yeah, both cases will protect the pawn. And
well, I don't like this because I'm trading off my good bishop for his bad bishop, huh?
Yes, you're right. But our position is a little bit cramped, so we need to somehow be able to finish our development. And but that's a good observation there. And by the way to avoid it was probably to get the bishop from c8 out of the pawn chain before playing e6, back in the third move of the game. So it's not that easy to anticipate everything in advance, but we want to avoid the biggest mistakes now and not to immediately make perfect moves all the time. So let's see.
See, these are the spots in chess where I have a hard time imagining how the game is going to open up or where it's going to go. So I have a hard time thinking prophylactically when you have these positions where none of the pieces have been traded off yet, and there's just all kinds of possibilities for where it can go.
Yeah,
it's really hard for my mind to see. Like how do I even improve a position like this? You know, these are the questions that I don't really know the answer to.
Great question. The key for now, because we didn't finish the opening phase, we need to develop the queen and the rooks. And now the move to develop the queen is pretty obvious because you want to move forward in chess.
Sure, yeah, so queen e7.
Queen e7 is the next move if he doesn't have a threat. Then you want to put the rooks, but you're so cramped, and so is he, that it's not so clear where to put the rooks. So normally what I like to do is to put them where there's the most potential for open files in the future.
Okay. Well, what about knight? Oh, damn. Yeah, he didn't want me to. I was actually thinking about knight to b4 there because
that was a great move to get his good bishop, like you mentioned. Yeah. So both of you are geniuses. And queen e7. I didn't even spot this idea, but you see, I don't have to find all the best moves. I just have to avoid bad moves in order to be a decent chess player.
Yes, and, I like that. That's a lot easier than finding good moves, I think.
Yes.
Wasn't it like a Petrosian? Wasn't that his style, just to play really defensively until his opponent messed up?
Well, I like the word prophylactically more because he was a brilliant attacker. He just didn't care for it so much. And but you're right there. He was a very conservative player when it comes to, let's say, just beating your opponent. His key was just to prevent everything he has, even if he has no advantage, just not letting him do anything, and they would just choke on themselves because nobody was as patient as he was.
Who do you like better, or who do you like more, Morphy or Petrosian? You like Tal? Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, but
all right. He's got a threat. I gotta take this bishop, right?
What's his threat?
He wants to push that pawn.
But then you can take the bishop, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
Technically, I don't see an immediate threat. I mean, maybe it will be a strategical threat, but we don't want to get too deep down the rabbit hole quite yet. So let's just focus on developing for now.
But okay, let's say let's say he moves his bishop on the next move, bishop to g5. Then all of a sudden, my dark square bishop.
You're right. So actually, an interesting idea might be to make a window for your king while preventing bishop g5. And I'm not suggesting the strongest moves, but I want to emphasize that moves that are good enough for now are good enough by definition.
Boom.
So, but ideally, if I could make a breakthrough in the center, it will be better. So, for example, if you can make e6 to e5, a pawn break, to work tactically somehow, then it would be very, very good for your bishop on d7 and for all the pieces. However, you have to calculate, and this is another part of chess that has to be mastered. And yeah, just have to imagine all the moves in your mind and make sure you don't lose anything.
Not a problem. Not a problem if you're a genius. I saw it instantaneously. So he's got 1, 2, 3. All right, this is interesting.
He realized what you wanted and he's preventing it with brute force. So now, I'm not sure if he has a threat, and maybe he does, but it feels a little bit cramped, right?
It does.
So why don't we release a little bit of the tension and then try to put a rook on the open file, something like this, just to finish our development with some dignity.
I like that. All right. I just want to take that.
Oh man.
What did I do, Tal? What? Shit! God. Tal.
It was the right idea, but I cannot like suggest the right move all the time. But no worries, we still have hope, I think.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
He's not a master of prophylaxis, I hope. So let's try to just accept the fact that we are losing a piece and maybe continue our development somehow. So just, I don't know, put a rook in a potential open file.
All right, I'm going to do that.
By the way, the move I was thinking of was d takes c4, not knight takes e5. And then you have the open d file and you put a rook on the d file.
You lost me. I'm not. I can't.
So earlier,
if you would have told me that, a minute ago, I think I would have followed you.
Yeah. So when I said like release the tension, I meant pawn from d5 takes the pawn on c4 earlier. But no worries. So of course.
So boom, there's that open file. Prophylaxis.
Okay. So now you don't want to ruin your structure, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. And I have to worry you, 1900s on this side probably will beat me in this case, but don't be afraid, you'll be fine.
I will be fine. It's going to be fine.
Yes. We'll try to survive for as long as we can. So,
see, I don't want to trade down here.
Exactly, you don't want to trade when you're down material, so let's just fall back.
I did it.
You chose the right square because it's the most central square. And by the way, you have a threat. You want to do the same thing he did to you. Do you see it?
Yep, I do. But he probably sees it too.
Apparently
I can do it.
Apparently it doesn't.
But no, he can still stop it just by going from... No, he can't.
So...
This is fantastic.
I wouldn't have beaten him from that position probably, but I guess knight f6 was too good for him.
Oh man, did I just...
Yeah. So,
I just introduced him to my prophylaxis so hard.
So,
Optic Tal. We're going to start calling you Optic Tal from now on.
Sounds good to me.
We're going to start I'm going to convince Hector to start a chess organization.
By the way,
this is
do you know Tal was a world champion, right?
I do, yeah. He was great.
Probably some of the viewers were thinking I was referring to myself.
No, Mikel Tal.
Yeah. He was a genius by every standard. So now let's not rush. Be careful.
Okay.
Does he have a threat?
Okay. I don't see one.
Okay.
I mean, okay. My pawn is a little loose. I don't like that.
Yeah, but it's not a threat. So, and we didn't develop fully. So, once again, which piece doesn't work?
Either my bishop or the rook on f8.
So I would say that the rook didn't move yet. So he deserves a move. He deserves
Alright,
some
okay.
attention.
So how do I protect this pawn on D6 though, anticipating that he might boot me off that square?
For a start, put the rook on the open file and just believe everything will be fine.
All right, I
Open
believe.
files are a source of faith in chess. I hope people won't quote me for this one. So
but now I'm gonna lose. Oh no, I'm not gonna lose that.
yeah,
Am I?
you
Yeah,
won't.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can. He has a threat, so you need to find a good square to put your queen. Okay,
There's
not
only one.
necessarily good, but
Oh, I see.
exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
okay.
And you anticipate rook takes e8, right?
No.
No. We can. Okay, normally when he can capture a piece, I'm kind of expecting it, even though it might not be the move. And if he does, then you can kind of pre-move your move against it, because it will only work if he takes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So this is another idea in Blitz. So remember, there's no increment, so we have to speed up just a little bit. And
all right.
so no threat. Let's improve the bishop, like you said.
I like it.
Nice. And I'll just speed up my process of asking you, and I'll probably also respond to save some time. I'll pretend I'm answering my own questions.
Great news.
So
now I should take with the rook.
I think you can also take with the queen. There is no problem there.
But then he takes my pawn with his. Oh, he can't. But then. Okay.
Have faith
all right.
in the open files, my boy.
I see. My boy, he says. All right. I am excited. I'm going to be the grandmaster.
I'm wondering if there are grandmasters in the tournament. I can actually check, but well, I prefer to keep it a mystery for now, that we suddenly see one in front of us.
It's just my prophylaxis is just so hard right now.
Okay, so you want to take back with one of the pieces. Ideally, it's not good to go backwards in chess unless you have to. So I don't see a reason to go backwards. And he's gonna probably speed up. Don't get too nervous by the time control.
Okay.
Until you have like 2 minutes, you should be fine. We'll continue to play semi-decent moves, and I'm blaming myself for it. I'm just not focusing on the best moves. We just want to be good enough, as I mentioned. As Malcolm Gladwell.
My prophylaxis is going so fast that it's confusing even you, I think is what's happening here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, well, let's anticipate some of the ideas in the position. So now, bishop takes f3 followed by queen c1 mate might be an idea, right?
Not a bad idea.
So for him, it's probably a good idea to play h3, so you will have a window for the king.
I think I would move my bishop back to. Ooh, see, I want to go to h4.
Yeah, but ideally we don't want to go backwards unless we have to. So think about an active way to play. I mean, you're not mating him, but you can still probably try to.
Okay, all right, okay. I see what you're going.
And he took with a pawn, and now again.
Triple pawns, motherfucker. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I swear?
Not at all. I like swearing. It's one of the perks.
We're getting all up in his business here.
But only when the situation justifies it, yeah?
Oh, cursing?
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. I'll keep my tongue in check. How about
double pawns are up. That's the key. So I feel like in this position you can safely say that you're winning, but be careful. Does he have a threat?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. How do you prevent it in the most elegant way? By just, preventing it. Without moving backwards.
Without moving backwards?
Yeah,
okay.
That's the riddle.
All right. All right.
You moved backwards.
Shit.
It's still a good move, but I would.
But now he's gonna take this pawn down here.
Yeah, I would. Okay, I will not tell you the move, but the same move that I wanted to play earlier applies now. Kind of blocking everything in his position, like his bishop, his queen. You can block everything in one move. It's a very nice strategical move. Yes. And it's also good now, but had you played it in the previous move, you would be able to take a pawn by now. Okay, but still, I don't see a reason.
But now I can take a pawn.
Yeah, just as mentioned, that's correct. He doesn't have triple pawns anymore, but I feel like he's still in a little bit of trouble because of the king, right?
Oh yeah, I'm about to prophylact him so hard down there.
Yes, but now, just to mention, a move I would like to play as black, not necessarily on every move, but okay, first you have to respond. But a strategic move that makes sense is forcing it, is literally forcing it. I wanted to say g6 even without provocation was a good move, followed by king g7. Because then everything is protected around your king, and then you can move on to causing mayhem around his...
I like my position here, man. Yeah. I like it.
You have a threat, by the way, if he doesn't do anything particular.
Yeah, knight to g4 there, right?
Knight to g4. Another threat is queen d1 check, capturing the bishop on b1.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to stress, by the way, because I forgot to say in the beginning, consulting while playing chess, online or in real life, is not allowed. It's illegal. But this is a private tournament organized by us, where we mention it. So, and all the players are allowed. So now he has a threat. You respond. Nice. Okay. So no threat, right?
No threat.
Let's respond. Not respond. Let's continue our play. Nice. Okay. Threat. Be careful. Be very careful. He's not only threatening your king,
but he's also.
No.
God damn it, Tal!
I was trying to say it, yeah, but I couldn't really imply it harder. But no worries, no worries. I think the endgame was a little bit worse for black, by the way.
It was? Really?
Yeah, because of the a pawn that was probably going to march up the board. But worry not, we can give up with this game.
We can resign. We can resign. Yeah. How do I resign here?
Where do I think on the right, like above on the
oh, there it is. Right. I got it. I hit resign and nothing happened. Oh, there we go.
All right. So you hit it once and confirm. Yeah. So yeah, that's painful, and just like in life, chess is very cruel. And
my prophylaxis was not up to par by the end of that.
Exactly.
By the end of that game there.
And
all right, we're gonna jump back into this tournament and see what happens.
One of the annoying things that I think that happens regularly in chess is that you can play 40 good moves in a row, but then you make one silly mistake and everything is ruined.
It sucks, dude. It's the worst. Yeah, I hate that.
Imagine having a career based on one move, and
yeah, no, I'm not into that.
A whole month can be ruined because of one move.
This game is torturous.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a fickle mistress.
Okay, we have some strong opposition here. Okay, so I know it's painful, but we don't have to rush. That's what I do. When I lose, I start playing faster, and it's very important to slow down and avoid tilting. Now, does he have a threat?
No threat.
All right, so what we want to do is develop, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can develop however you wish. I will not give you my preference, as long as you put pieces in the center. Again, no threat. How can you develop?
What? But he's got a threat later on to
Yeah, but a4 is not developing anything. I would have preferred to play e3 and protect the pawn with the bishop anyway. But still, it's not too bad. So now. No threat, so let's develop. By the way, we like to develop knights first.
Okay.
And yeah, usually. And now again, no threat. Let's develop the bish.
The bish. All right, let's do that.
The mighty bish. Now.
All right, let's castle. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. This guy likes to play fast, doesn't he?
He likes to play passively. That's what I think. And no threats. And now let me give you a small hint. Normally, you want to develop your rooks, your queen. Can you anticipate which file will be open soon?
D file.
The E file, and also
No, the D file I said.
The d file is possible if he has a pawn break, but now there is like your c4 pawn and his d5 pawn are kind of attacking each other. So sooner or later,
Oh, okay. All
sooner or
right.
later the c file will open. So you can, yeah, exactly. You got it. I don't have to say it even. I just have to think it and you will find it, yeah?
Yes. Well, I think that's just what happens with genius. With geniuses, it just makes sense, you know.
So now he wants to develop his bish once again. There's no way to prevent it. But, well, now it's the queen's turn to join the party. And this is also good. No, this is good. This is good. This is why we gathered here on the c file. And actually, he shouldn't have taken with the pawn. Because now, maybe you can exploit the fact that you're leading by development by trying to penetrate his position. Speaking of
knight to b5. How about that?
Baby.
What
is your threat, by the way?
My threat is to fork his bishop and rook.
But the bishop is not a piece that. Okay, now you can kind of do what you said, but your threat was knight c7 forking two rooks. But now you have a pleasant choice. Both of them are kind of tempting.
Oh yeah, this is but it would be better just to get that bishop, right?
I mean, if you can win a bishop, it's better, yeah.
Can still do I can still fork the two rooks here, but I think it would be better because I would get down on the or he would be down on the exchange, but if I were to just get his bishop straight up, that's 3 pawns instead of 2.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do it this. I'm doing it this way.
Lovely. And yeah, and assuming he's a good player, he will not overlook the bishop, but he has to waste the tempo defending it, and then you can take the rook, for example, and you kind of gain the tempo in this particular move, knight d6 that you played. So now, of course, his semi-threat was to go away with the rook, so you captured it. And now, does he have a threat?
He does not. No,
okay,
he's got a real shit position here.
Which piece wants to join the party very badly?
My bishop. My bish.
They already moved. So
what?
You want to treat everyone equally, right? The queen on d1,
my
the rook
queen,
on f1,
my queen,
especially women. You don't want to mess with them. So
my queen. All right, where do I want to put? I want to put her. How about b3? That looks like a solid spot.
Yes.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing
definitely.
All right.
That's what I was thinking. So now, okay, he kind of has an idea. It's not a big threat, but he wants to probably move with the pawn to e4 and grab space, and space is important in chess. So probably because you're leading in development, opening up the position should be in your favor. So and also exchanging is in your favor because you're up an exchange, a rook versus a knight. So yeah, now I want you to notice some tactical factor of that in the position.
What do you a tactical factor?
Yeah, you need to kind of spot that some pieces are hanging in this is something that can only be improved by playing often and practicing your skills on tactics trainers. But I will just mention that some of his pieces are hanging and you can exploit it. You can take 3 minutes for the next move if you feel like it, but just...
okay, some of his pieces are hanging. I don't know.
So it's not too easy to spot, but I'll give you a little hint. So he has two pieces in the same. It's called a skewer in chess, like in the same.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I know what a skewer is.
I will not even say if it's a straight line.
Okay. What about a pin? Are you talking about?
It's like a pin, but if you play the move that you're thinking, I'm assuming immediately, he might be able to get away with it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Because of my queen, he can check. He can capture the.
He can have an intermediate check. So there is a way to. It's possible. I have to compliment you for this move, but just mentioning the move I was thinking of was knight takes e5 followed by bishop f4 earlier. But it's fine.
I see what he's trying to do here now.
Yeah, he's attacking something, yeah? His knight on e4 is attacking your bishop. So you probably want to go with the bishop to the center.
But then he can fork me here. He can fork my shit.
I'm not sure if it's that good for him. Let's just go back with the bishop and see if he can do something. Because right now the knight on f3 protects from the fork, right? So
okay.
he has to take on f3. Let's calculate. Knight takes f3. You take with the bishop, right? Okay, he didn't do it, so this is fine. Now what I want to do is exchange pieces because we are up material, yeah?
Yeah, but I don't want to get forked down here.
So you're right. So we need to be careful, but
I can exchange this one.
yes, that's correct. But now maybe you can try to avoid this fork by moving your queen to a more central square. But
I can dig it.
But
I can dig it.
you need to be careful. Yeah, there are some pieces like that might be captured at some point, but as long as we don't make terrible moves and identify the threats, we'll be fine.
I need to worry about my time here
You're
too.
right, but until you have like 2.5 minutes, we're fine. Let's focus. We're an exchange up. We can do it. Okay, he's threatening your rook. You can bring it to the most active square. Do you see what it is?
Yes.
So the most active square, and usually rooks are very happy when they're on the 7th rank, right?
They are. Yeah.
Yes. If you have 2 rooks on the 7th rank, it's almost game over strategically.
I don't like his knight there. Okay, there we go.
Okay, he doesn't like it also for some reason. He's threatening something though. Be careful.
He's threatening my queen.
Okay, just move with tempo if you can. Nice. And probably after he moves the bishop, you're gonna want to develop your rook from f1. He's been waiting to join the game for a very long time.
Yep, this is true.
Okay, but now be careful. He wants to take your rook, right?
It does.
And
How the fuck do I stop that?
you can capture the bishop with a knight.
Oh, that's true.
But unfortunately, now after queen captures, the rook is trapped, but you have to capture the knight probably. So you sacrifice a rook for a knight and a pawn. You only lose 1 point. You minimize the loss.
Why didn't I take the bishop there instead?
The knight was protecting it, unfortunately. So yeah, now you can take with the queen. It's not protected, and we are a little bit stressed with time. And the guy is very fast, and I have to admit he defended quite heroically. So let's notice if he has some hanging pieces. Okay, so do you see? Can you capture something?
I can.
Okay. You're attacking his bishop. Alright. So now he has no threats as far as I can see. Let's make a window for the king on the H file. You don't want to open the diagonal for his bishop. So you want to make a window on the H file.
Okay.
Because he might have some tricks. Okay, now he has a nasty threat. I will tell you what it is. It's bishop takes g2 check. Do you see it?
I do, yeah, but why is that so nasty?
Because the rook on c7 will take your queen. It's a discovery for the rook. So you can get the... okay, this works by a miracle, but this is... You could have taken with the queen on d4 probably. Just getting away from the threat. But of course, with the time... No, play queen b8 check. You have to play queen b8 check to avoid losing the queen. And then you have to pre-move probably taking the bishop. You don't have a lot of time. And maybe because of the time situation, yeah, we have to rush. So you can take the... Oh man, this is a good idea, but...
God damn it!
But you know...
Tal! My prophylaxis, man, it's not on point. Did I win the first game?
Well, we won the first game. We can resign. Don't worry. We are facing really powerful opposition in this tournament. And this is the only way to improve in chess. And I think also... do you feel challenged?
Yes.
So I don't know if it looks good, but we are not here to impress the viewers. We just want you to improve your chess, and I'm feeling like.
Hey man, I got cats to feed. I need to impress these guys.
Yeah. All right. So
I can't fade into obscurity. Come on.
You're right.
Hold on. Let me call out some people that just let me mute myself real quick. I need to call out some people that subscribed and whatnot.
Sure. So, people in the chat here are commenting. This is fun. I'm having fun here. And I'm not sure if I'm muted. I don't know if I should mute myself in the meantime. Let's hope that it doesn't disturb his stream. But I will use more arrows in the coming games. So the viewers who see my angle of the stream will see what I'm talking about. You will probably...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the tournament?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
So we're here to develop character, and maybe in the next tournament we'll beat everyone.
Oh, that's happening.
Yes.
That's happening.
So let's see. We're waiting for the next game to start, right?
Yeah, I'm back in the... I'm waiting for a pairing here.
Yes.
The chess is fucking infinity.
Agreed.
It's infinite. That's why people get so obsessed with it, because it is so hard. This game is so hard, man.
Yeah.
All right. It's not hard to. I don't think it's hard to go from really bad to decent, but it is exceptionally hard to go from decent to good, and then to very good, and then
exactly. It's so difficult. It's like climbing the mountain Everest, and like the higher you are, the thinner the air, the more difficult it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to do any fried liver shit here. How do I?
Oh, nice. So knight g5 is the fried liver attack. So your queen kind of prevents it for now. So you can, this is called a move order trick. Normally you develop the knights first, but in this case you can develop the bishop first to the center, and thus preventing the fried liver attack. So this is a pearl of wisdom that probably you can use.
The fried liver is, I used to have fun playing defense, but I can't. Yeah. I'm out of my element. I haven't played it in a while.
All
right, we're gonna do this.
So, by the way, move orders in chess are probably the most difficult part to master, at least for me and many other grandmasters I talk to. And this is a good move, but I prefer to develop first.
Okay, so you would have pushed this guy here, I'm guessing?
Exactly. What a nice way to communicate. You make the move and I agree. I feel... So, yeah. So now he's pinning you, which is, of course, annoying to some extent. But you can first make a window for your king with a tempo, if you know what I mean. And
I know what you mean, Tal.
Yes,
I know what you mean.
Exactly. And now, because you didn't castle, that's very important, you can afford to play the move g5. And this move g5 to unpin is very, very dangerous if you castle. But now you can avoid castling short and develop the other pieces. So for example, you can get the bishop to the center or to pin him on g4. Both are fine.
I'd rather do that.
Yeah. And the key is that now you have more space on the king side. His bishop on g3 doesn't really do much. It's facing a barrier of 2 pawns. And yeah, suddenly everything is rolling for black.
So this is good for me, you'd say?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Personally, I prefer bishop g4, but it's not necessarily a better move. It's just that I like annoying my opponents, and the pin is annoying. To deal with, at least. So
this is true. This is true.
By the way, some of the improvement in chess occurs in terms of posing problems to the opponent rather than playing the best move. And being able to spot like which moves are more annoying to the opponent is probably a very fun quality to possess.
Actually, yeah, you know what? I do like. Well, I mean, he would have just pushed his A pawn or his H pawn, right? H3, and then just booted me off that.
Yeah, but then I would have played bishop h5.
Oh yeah, that's true. I should have done that. That would have been annoying. That pin would have been annoying.
And okay, so now you know what to do. And your king is seemingly open, but you can castle long.
I can.
By the way,
yeah.
one of the very advanced principles that, or at least the rules of thumb that they teach you in chess when you're on a high level, is that the king in the center is standing well because he can castle to both directions if necessary. And okay, let's deal with his threat first. So he wants to take your pawn. You don't want to allow opening his h file. So probably keeping it closed somehow will be a good idea. Nice. He will probably go knight h2 and attack. No, it doesn't. Okay, no threats. No threats by him. So you want to develop your queen. Both squares are fine.
I'm gonna do this one.
Yeah.
Line him up with my bish.
So now he's attacking your bish. What can you do? We want to save the bish.
Well, what we can do is
fall back.
Yeah, but which square do I want to go to? I'm gonna do here.
I think both are fine, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, a5 is a tempo that he can have. I'm not sure if it's good for him or not. So, as long as you fall back with the bishop, it's you're fine. You're doing fine. Okay, now you go here, and as I was saying,
probably castle, right?
Wait. You can castle, but I was saying earlier about this advanced idea that castling is okay. Of course, you want to do it, but then he has a target. He knows where to attack your king. So theoretically, if you castle and he castles short, he could start get his pawns rolling your side. So I prefer to be more flexible. So a good move would be to ask yourself which piece can you improve now very effectively. I see a very nice move. I don't want to say it outright.
E5.
But I'll just say that it's one of your pieces. You can improve it. And it's a very juicy square. It's just, you can only spot it by intuition. Because normally you don't put pieces away from the center. But I feel like...
Knight to h5.
Exactly. And it's a
I saw it the whole time.
Move. It's a very annoying move to face. Because you're not threatening anything direct. But it kind of annoys the hell out of him. Because he can't castle, for example. You see? There will be a pin on the diagonal. So he castles long. And now it's much safer for you to castle long. You see what I did there?
No.
So now after you castle long, it's not necessarily the best way to play, but it was kind of a good idea to avoid letting him castle short and attack you on the king side on the queen side with the pawns. So now because his king is in the same direction, he cannot do it. So now he has a threat. He wants to take your pawn. I'll repeat it later. And you can just protect it somehow while developing a piece.
While developing a piece.
You have two pieces that you didn't develop yet, right?
Well, I got a rook here. I got another rook. Okay, all right.
Which rook?
I see what you...
Which rook? One of the most difficult questions in chess, once again. Similar to move orders.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to do this one.
Wait. The open file is the guideline. Remember, have faith in the open files. You want one rook on the open file and the other one protecting the pawn. Exactly.
I'm going to do that one. Yep.
Exactly. And that's kind of the difference that makes the difference. When you put the right rook on that square and the right move order, then suddenly your opponent will have more problems to solve. And about the castling that I said earlier, the fact that his king is on the queen side, is on c1, prevents him from lashing at you with his pawns, because then his king will be open too.
Yeah.
So we waited for him to castle, and then we knew exactly where we want to castle. If at all. And, well, it wasn't necessarily the best move right now, back when I said it earlier, but it was important for me to mention this principle. So castling, you can postpone it by just a little bit to make sure it's perfectly safe.
Why don't I just take his bishop off the board there with my knight. I'm gonna just get rid of that.
Take the bishop with your knight is possible, but it will help him a little bit because this bishop doesn't do anything. He's attacking like a wall, yeah.
And these knights in these closed position are a little bit more valuable than these bishops, right?
That's right. That's right. So you already know everything. I don't need to teach you. I'm just pretending to know things. But I think
I learned chess playing 5-minute chess in coffee shops, though. So my brain isn't wired to really fully think about all these questions that you're supposed to ask yourself. So is he threatened? I don't see any threat.
Correct.
So might as well get that rook over to that file,
Perfect.
right?
Nice. You see, it was so easy to find this move now that you know how to think, and that's the key. I think that some people might say that you could be an intelligent person, and that's why you see these moves. But I think that most of the viewers can do it if they know which questions to ask. It's fairly easy.
Now this looks sexy to me.
Nice, nice. No threats. Once again, you improved the worst placed piece. Only this time you didn't do it verbally. You just subconsciously realized all these details, right?
Yes.
So
my brain is working so fast I don't even understand it.
So he will move his queen, and then again, no threat by him. But he might want to, like, I don't know, he wants to open up his bishop by playing f3, but I really don't see a move for him. I honestly don't see a move for him. So you know what might be a very lethal move that, from practical point of view, just simply improving your worst placed piece, which is the rook on g8. So where can you put it?
I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. Have faith in the open files.
I'm already on an open file, though.
Not with the g-rook.
Maybe push the pawn? Do I push the pawn?
The rook on the g file, on g8, is not on an open file because he has a pawn blocking him. So you can put both rooks on the f file.
Oh, okay. What if I do that then?
And by the way, the reason I came up with this move is not because I felt it was right. It's just that I asked myself these questions, just like we talked about. I wanted to improve the g8 rook, and the open files are where rooks belong. So it's fairly easy to see it once you ask the question. Okay, now he has a semi-threat. Your bishop on a7 is kind of hanging, right?
No, but I don't get. Oh, my bishop? Oh, I see.
Yeah, this was his entire game plan. But
why don't I just get rid of him?
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
Now it takes with the rook. Again, I don't see a direct threat, but you have to be careful because if you take his pawn with the queen, you will get forked.
I will get forked?
Forked by, so I'll say the moves. If you play queen takes h4, he will have g3, forking the queen and the knight.
Oh, we don't want that.
Yeah,
No.
So a move that might be good is to continue your plan. Exactly. Why am I even talking?
Why are you even here? I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like I should. Do you want lessons from me? Because I have time.
Yeah, I could have played some chess on my own and maybe learn from, or watch this stream and try to learn something. So let's see. No threats. So now you want to open the file a little bit. This pawn on f3 is annoying you, right? Is protected by another pawn. You can put pressure on it by first exchanging and then figuring out maybe how to put pressure. Like both rooks are attacking it, you just have to get the knight out of the way without losing it, of course. So, and normally in chess I really like to go forward if possible. So how can you go forward with the knight?
Simple.
Yes, once you know what you want, then it's very easy to get it. I think this particular one is only true in chess and not in life.
Because it depends on who you are and how much money you have.
Yeah. By the way, some people in my chat say that they're one guy said it's 2200 and he is still learning a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you have to work that much harder when you're at that level to continue forward progress.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I just it's so hard to be good at chess unless you dedicate your life to it. You know.
Well, it really depends, because if you learn how to ask the right questions and you have just a little bit of practice by playing and thinking and maybe going through your games afterwards a little bit, then you will improve no matter what. So it's just...
I feel like I'm getting worse as time goes on.
Well, I disagree.
But then again, I don't play that much anymore, so maybe that's probably why.
Well, you've proven yourself wrong in this stream so far. So...
All right, so he's threatening my
pawn.
my pawn. Yeah.
So, but you don't want to go backwards or play passively, and your threat seems a little bit more sexy, right?
Just fucking go for it, huh?
Yeah, why not? So you will probably take. We can anticipate it. We have only 3 minutes. Don't worry. Let's anticipate.
No,
the move.
Oh, never mind.
If he plays rook takes h6, you can kind of improve a piece of yours. So let's say, you know the sentence knights on the grim are dim, or on the rim are dim, right? Is this how you say it?
Yeah, knight on the rim is grim, yeah.
It's grim, yeah. I can't speak English. So the knight on h3 is bad, but now he has a threat, so be careful. He didn't take your pawn, so you can kind of defend it while getting away from his threat. So hitting 2 birds with 1 stone.
Boom?
Boom.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, now that he doesn't have a knight on b3 because he went backwards, later on you can improve the knight from c6. But first, deal with his threat. He wants to take your knight, right?
He does,
okay,
yeah, but
bring it to the center.
Okay, all right.
Bring it to the center. And
all right,
I didn't even notice that you're threatening his rook. I just wanted to get it to the center. That's one of the magical things about bringing all the pieces to the good squares. The threats will happen naturally. You don't have to plan.
If I can get my knight on c6 to d4, then I'm threatening a fork. I doubt he'll let me do that, but
yeah. And you don't have to see it in advance even, because as long as you keep improving your pieces, he will have trouble making a move. And of course now he missed your threat, and yeah, there's not much left. Oh man, forgot to tell you not to rush.
Oh shit! I missed it.
But it's funny because, I mean, he's still in a little bit of trouble because you have 2 threats now.
Yeah.
This was a little bit deep, but unfortunately if he plays rook takes f6, you're not in time to get the queen. But okay, just pre-move one of the captures. It doesn't matter what. Rook takes f6 or queen takes f6, so you can save time.
Okay.
And
pre-move enabled. Oh, there we go. I got it.
all right, nice. And we're probably gonna win by time, but let's just avoid rushing.
Okay.
So okay, he kept missing your threat, so you know what it is, right?
Yes.
All right. And sorry if I speak to you as if you don't see anything. I just do it also like when talking to my grandmaster students. It's just...
All right.
Yeah. Well
done. We're doing great. We're doing great. We're 2 out of 4. Wait, so, we're 2 out of 4, right? Or are we 2 out of 5?
I think 2 out of 4, but I mean, I can't tell anymore between a night and day. It's like... It's been so many ups and downs in each game.
Yeah, my emotions are a wreck right now. Let me call out some people real quick. 1 second.
Sure. Okay, so I'm thinking that I'm muted again. Hopefully, I'm not ruining the stream from his angle. But for now, I'll mention that I forgot to do the arrows. I'll try to do them more in the next game. I'm looking at the chat every now and then, but I don't want to respond. And
okay, we got it. I'm jumping back in here. I got momentum on my side.
Nice. So by the way, players here are quite underrated, I think, at least from my experience. Like 1800s here are really good, and you just beat this guy, like, how do you say it? Fiercelessly? Is this a word?
Wait, what was the other guy's rating that I just beat?
1813.
Jesus.
You didn't even notice. You just wiped
No,
him.
I didn't notice at all.
Yes, you wiped him off the board without even noticing who he is. Okay, so now let's do the same thing. 2 questions.
Yes.
And
go.
Yeah, no threat, develop. Next move is probably knight f3. Okay, no threat, you can develop, right?
Sure.
Now either get the bishop from c1 out of the pawn chain before playing e3, or play e3 immediately. Both are fine, generally speaking, yeah. And I have to stress, even though the moves we're playing are not perfect, we want to be good enough. This was uncalled for, by the way.
I like that. I like the way you said that. I sometimes, like in a coffee shop chess, I used to just think, like, if you have a bad bishop, just exchange them off and just simplify.
Well, this is not a way to treat a bish, you know?
Okay.
I mean, the guy was doing his job and you just got rid of him.
This was uncalled for, he says.
I was offended on behalf of the bish.
Oh, man. What's his rating now? 16, 13? Amateur hour.
You're higher rated.
Amateur hour.
Okay,
all right.
So let's get the bish out. The one that you have left, unfortunately.
I don't want to exchange him though.
You feel bad.
Yeah, I don't want to exchange him.
Okay. You feel like you mistreated one, so you want to be nice to the other.
So I should castle here, right?
It's possible, but remember the principle I talked about earlier? You can be a little bit flexible. So what you will have for sure is an open C file. So queen d2 is good, and next move, you want to put a rook on the potential open file, as I said earlier.
Okay, all right.
And of course you can castle. I mean, it's not a bad move. I just want to be a little bit more flexible.
Okay, all right. How much do you normally charge for? Do you give lessons? Have you ever charged people for lessons?
I do, but I have an interesting or unique method I will explain later. First, no threat, right? So you can continue.
Why don't I just make this file open? Why don't I just make
it's possible, but there's no way for him to avoid it. So you can just develop. There's another principle. I'm glad you mentioned this move. After you will play your move, I'll say it. Nice. So another principle in chess, which is also in life, I think, which is about when there is tension between two things, like these pawns, the first one to relieve the tension usually gives up something.
Sure, yeah.
So you don't want... Yeah. Okay, but in this case, he moved twice with the same pawn, so it makes sense to open up the position because you're leading in development. Plus, you're gaining material. And by the way, probably would prefer c takes d5 first, but because now it activates his knight for one move, but it doesn't make a big difference. After c takes d5, you just win a pawn, yeah, without exchanging anything.
Yeah.
But so now you probably can expect him to take back with the knight, and then you wanna just take on d5 and further open the position. So,
okay, I can do that.
So, as for teaching, I like what they do in the East. At least that's what I think they do, and which is like the main achievement for a student is not to have enough money to pay for a lesson, is to be accepted in the first place, to be a student, and I feel like. The main goal for me is to improve my own chess. As I said, being a chess player is the main thing in my life, almost the only thing. I want to be as good as I can. So while teaching, I also want to improve my own chess. So I focus only on very high levels, and
Yeah, that makes sense, huh?
I mean, I hope if I will need money one day, I might lower the bar. But for as long as I can, I will continue to, um, to live the good life, as they say.
Oh, I got this pawn with tempo.
Yeah. Tempo on the queen, nice.
If I could. All right. We got some interesting stuff. I feel like I want to
be careful now, because notice that we are quite quick, and now we want to be quite a little bit methodical. So he has no threat. He has no threat for now. Okay, maybe 94 is kind of a big threat, attacking your queen, but it's not. So it's not threatening to capture anything. And of course, castling is a good move in general, but then he will castle also. And yeah, this is a good move, exactly. Another option, by the way, was to play bishop b5 check and prevent him from his right to castle. And
bishop e5. Oh yeah. I looked at that too. But he could have just moved his knight back to block that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I have to mention that then he moves backwards and you move forward, so it's
okay. Yeah. I never see. I don't even think in those terms on playing at my level.
This is the only term, I think. You move backwards, forward. He moves backwards. You're better. That's it.
Yeah.
We want to have progress.
But then it also goes back to what we were talking about with Petrosian earlier, where like some people like prefer to play defensively, to like be on the to be going backwards and just wait for their opponents to make some kind of a mistake. But I guess as a rule of thumb, it's generally better to push forward then, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of statistics, I think, because when you're in the center, not necessarily all the way up the board, when you're in the center, then you're attacking in all directions, and then you're just statistically threatening more squares, so there is more chance for you to get something, to grab something. So now no threat, so let's continue our development finally, or at least finish it.
You mean castle?
Yeah. And by the way, if he has no threat on the next move, you want to develop the last piece to an open file, right?
Yeah, I got you.
And,
so I'll put my my F rook to D1.
Yeah, and right now I can safely say that, at least from an objective point of view, White's position is winning. So what it means is that as long as you don't rush and you play prophylactically,
not only better, but you're saying winning.
Already winning. It's your pawn up and all your pieces are more active. So
great news. This is great news.
So the key now is to ask yourself the questions once again and not to rush. Not on the clock and not on the board.
Well, I like your idea before of getting that rook on that file, so I think I'm going to stick with that plan.
Yeah. Bringing another piece to the game is just very powerful. No other piece that moves twice can compete with that, because it wasn't there earlier. Now you have like 6 pieces threatening things. Doesn't even matter if you see all the threats or not. They're there. And now, by the way, as I was saying, there are some threats that you had, and he kind of ignored yours. And you can exploit the fact that you have the queen and rook on the open file.
Okay.
Do you see that the bishop on d6 is kind of hanging?
Yeah, but I'm like, would I just sacrifice my knight here and just hit him with a check?
You have both options. Sacrifice is on f6 and ruin his structure, or on b6 and capture a pawn. Both are fine. It's a matter of taste. But as long as you exploit the fact that his bishop is hanging.
Yeah, and that would mess up his pawn structure a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to do it.
And I'm glad you chose this one, because one is gaining like a strategical advantage, and the other one is gaining a pawn, right?
Yeah.
Knight takes b6, and I think that, as I said, my idol Mikhail Tal and many chess players prefer to have these kind of advantages. Okay, but let's focus. He's threatening your rook, and he was also pinning your bishop on the c file. So you need to be very careful. You need to address both of these things in one move. It's not easy. I mean, it looks easy now that you've done it, but it's very easy to miss. It's very easy to miss. So again, he has a semi-threat. Do you see it? Okay, it's a big threat, but
Yeah. I don't see it.
okay. It's related to the fact that your bishop is hanging.
Yes.
So what you want to do is either defend the bishop or blockade the d file. So both options are fine. And well, I like the moves that come with tempo. So do you see a move with tempo that can block the d file?
I can block the d file. Oh, okay, yeah, I do.
Nice, nice. So
all right.
you take a knight from f3, you bring it closer to the center, improving a piece with tempo. I mean, this is just as good as it gets.
It's a sexual move, Tal. It's a sexual move.
Exactly. You have a pawn up, you have a better structure, and you're a master of prophylaxis.
Oh man, you are good for my ego.
I was talking to myself. So
why don't I just offer him a trade here?
It's possible, but you're moving backwards, my friend.
Shit.
It's not bad, but it's just on principle. I want you to get used to moving forward on every single move. So he wasn't threatening anything. So improving the bishop was a good idea. So you could offer the trade while moving to a6, for example.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
okay,
it's the same idea, but
I kind of like that bishop on that diagonal against his. Well, I guess he's got a bishop defending that down there.
I mean, it's a good move. Don't get me wrong. It's just on principle. I'm very happy with this. Okay, let's focus on improving our position. You don't have to trade because it will stay there. The tension remains. You don't have to release it. You want to bring your king to the center because it's an endgame. And king f1 is possible, but I prefer to kind of...
Boom.
Exactly. I mean, why am I even talking?
You just give me a little hint. Just give me a little hint. I'll find it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just say like, it's your move, and you'll just play the move.
Yeah, he probably will go to c5 there, right? And then
yeah, you're already doing it naturally. You want to predict his moves. That's good. And after knight c5, you don't want to let him exchange a knight for a bish because, okay, first he exchanged. As I mentioned earlier, releasing the tension is in your favor. Of course, you have to take back with the rook. And now, yes, now he's kind of strategically threatening to exchange a knight for a rook, for a bishop, sorry. So you don't want to allow it. So I think a good idea would be to retreat with the bishop. And of course it's moving backwards a little bit, but it has a good intention behind it. You see the move, nice. So we don't want to capture the bishop on g6 and fix his pawn chain. We just want to be educated. Let's say he's running on e3, you defend while bringing the king closer to the center.
While bringing the king to the center, because it's important to do that during the endgame.
Be careful now. If you take with the knight, he has knight d3, forking the king and rook.
Well, we don't want that.
So you have to take back with the rook. Nice. And by the way, it was enough to just not go backwards. This is you didn't even have to see it. As long as you keep moving forward, life will be good. Okay, now again he's trying to trick you with some knight ideas, some checks, but
that's not gonna work on me, man.
Exactly.
Prophylaxis, bro.
Master of prophylaxis. You move the king away from the checks while bringing him closer
towards
to the center. Yes.
Yes, Tal. All right. I am so excited. Look at this. Now he's in trouble.
Okay. Do you see the key move now?
Oh yeah, he's in trouble.
Exactly. I mean, why am I even here?
You're fired, Tal.
I don't get it.
I think you should be paying me to tutor me.
Exactly.
Because it's like you said. I feel like I'm gonna make your chess game so much stronger.
No, but this is not even a joke. I mean, I feel like what we are doing here, we're not talking about chess moves. I'm not teaching you chess. It feels like a lesson in philosophy of chess. And like,
I'm Plato and you're Aristotle. I think is what would be an appropriate comparison here.
Definitely, most def.
Basically, you can call me Dad. All right, let's fucking go. We're doing great.
All right.
Might as well take that, huh?
Don't rush. That's the only advice I'll give you.
No. We're good. I'm not rushing.
Okay, careful. He wants to do something, yeah?
He does, but I'm thinking prophylactically. So.
Exactly. So you don't care that he gives the check. You just want to avoid losing a pawn on a2. So you can just move forward as you like, as we are learning here. Moving forward constantly. This is a great move. I was thinking of a4. Both are fine, but it's just as long as you, as I said, as you play a decent move, it's good enough. So again, he's checking you. Okay, nice.
I could have pushed up there, huh?
No, you don't want to give a pawn. Now you can move a pawn forward, right, on a4 or a3. Both are fine. I like your style. You want the pawn to go to the queening square. Once again, he's attacking the pawn. You don't need to rush. You can just move forward. Everything is protected. Another example of a move that Petrosian will play next is like h4. It doesn't have any particular threat. You just keep grabbing space, completely torturing him. By the way, Bobby Fischer was asked once, what's your favorite moment or experience in chess? And he was saying like, to see the hope dying in my opponent's eyes.
I remember that.
To see the hope fading away. So no threat. Once again, he has no threats. So which piece can you improve with one move? Okay. I was thinking of rook c7, but it doesn't matter. You exchange pawns, but the pawn you're grabbing is much more valuable. So you see the guy, yeah, and then. Just have to be careful not to lose the a pawn, but if you slowly march it up, it's gonna be game over. So let's bring the knight back to the center. Knights on... I'm learning some English here. Knights on the rim are grim, right?
A knight on the rim is grim, yeah.
On the rim is grim. Okay. So no threats, and then... okay. You want to improve your position a little bit, right?
Yes.
You don't have to force anything. So why don't we just go with the pawn to f4 and king to f3? No particular idea, just to improve the position without any threats. You can get the king there, closer to the center. And now, by the way, you have a nice move if you can spot it. It's related to bringing your pieces closer to the center.
Is that check with a knight any good or no?
If it were good, why would it be good?
Because I'm protecting. Oh, it is good.
Yeah. Exactly. And well, now it's like dominoes.
These girls fall like dominoes. Hey, look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, Tal, we're doing great, Tal. We're doing fantastic.
I wanted to tell you to wait and think about a nice move, and you already played it. I mean,
I'm so inconsistent with this game though. Like tomorrow, like if I tried to hop on chess tonight, I would be blundering left and right. But this time, if I play chess tonight, I'm gonna have your voice in my head asking, "Does he have any threats? How can you improve your position?"
That's all I asked for.
Well, that's all you're gonna get.
Nice.
That sounded aggressive, but it was actually
a prophylactic suggestion.
Prophylactic friendship. What it was there.
Wow, that would be an interesting concept. Maybe we can open a social media with this name.
I think it's too many syllables. I think it needs to be shorter.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to compete with Facebook and Flickr and Twitter when you got prophylactic friendship? Just don't think it works.
Maybe it's an exclusive club. So get the pieces out. Nice.
Okay, I'm not gonna take him this time.
If you behave well with the bish will treat you well. Now you want to get the knight and the pawn out, and not to release the tension, unless you have to. But normally you don't have to do anything in chess. You just want to play decent moves.
You heard it from Tal. Normally you don't have to do anything in chess.
Yes.
So I guess we like this, right?
You're not forced to do anything in most of cases. And yeah, now he's threatening your bish. You don't want to exchange it. It's not a bad bish.
So how do I?
You just
go. I feel like it's.
You just go somewhere. Yeah, this is a good square. H4 was a good square.
But if he wanted to, he can take this bishop with the knight.
Yeah. Now, by the way, now there is an idea that I want to suggest. Developing while protecting the bishop, but don't play it yet. Just tell me what move you're thinking of.
Queen to f3?
You want to develop the light pieces first.
Knight to e2?
This is blocking the f1 bishop. So what do you have left?
I don't know.
Knight?
To h3.
Yeah. But
I don't like that move.
I know you don't, but this is like a very flexible move, and it will, like, normally the knight is bad on h3, but there is some tension going on, so sooner or later you will be forced to allow the exchange.
Okay, all right. Do you want to explain to casual? Maybe I have some casual viewers why a knight on the rim is normally grim.
Yeah, it's just as I said earlier, a matter of statistics. The knight from h3 is only threatening 4 squares, and normally a knight on the center is threatening 8 different squares. So it's just basically, if he's threatening twice the amount of squares, then he's just a better piece. That's all there is to it.
I should probably castle here, huh?
Yeah. And we were not saying it out loud, but I'm sure everyone, even at home, are thinking, like, what is he threatening? Which piece doesn't work? Yeah.
I don't like his position at all.
You see, this move knight h3 is one of those things I mentioned earlier, annoying your opponent. Because by not forcing anything, you kind of give him a lot of choice, and this choice is troubling. Because many of his options are bad. So
my instincts right now tell me to push the c pawn for some reason, but I don't know if that's
you see, because he has a lot of choice, he's forcing the matter, and this is easy for you. Just lead by development, so you capture, you open the center, yeah. Just have to be aware that his bishop on c8 wants to grab your knight. That's the only idea he has. So probably you want to exchange and get the knight back to the center. And by the way, if he takes on c4 on the next move, you have a very nice tactic. Do you see it? First, let's deal with his threat. Bishop takes h3 is the idea. Okay, now if d takes c4, do you see this idea? This motive?
Yes, I do. That would be terrible for him, huh? Yeah. I would get his queen. Queen.
And by the way, if you don't notice it instantly, referring to the viewers, just asking yourself if he has any hanging pieces can help. Okay, he has a threat, right?
Yeah, but I want to keep my threat.
Oh, this is a nasty move. I see what you did there. You're kind of luring him to win a piece by taking on c4, but you have something up your sleeve.
I don't think he's going to go for it, though.
But yeah, but he saw it. But I'll just mention quickly that you could have gone to b3 with a tempo on the pawn on b7. Just a tempo is even better than this great move.
I could have gone to b3
with the queen move earlier and have a tempo on the pawn on b7. But it's just it's all in the past. So now
this knight is annoying me. So
okay, but be careful. Now he has a threat. D takes c4 is a huge threat. You have to deal with it, and preferably with tempo.
Preferably with tempo, eh? I'm not. I don't.
So he wants to take your pawn. When they come to get you, you want to get them first, right?
No,
I mean,
I
he
don't
wants to
know.
take you. You can just take him before he does it, and well, this like you prevented his idea while gaining a move.
Okay,
So
all right,
this is one
okay.
of these exceptions where you're releasing the tension, even though it's strategically bad. But this time it's tactically a good idea, right? Just dealing with his threat.
He did improve his position a lot in the last few moves here.
Yeah,
He got his bishop out, developing his pieces. His
yeah,
knight's not really awesome on the A file, but he
yeah.
can just jump over to C5 at any time here.
Yeah, he's a really good player. If you didn't notice, he's extremely high rated. I mean, for this tournament. And
Yeah,
I
1965.
mean,
If you
you're
guys
talking
can't
about
see
these
that,
guys as if like they deserve compliments for developing their pieces. They're almost world champions already. So
yeah.
okay,
No,
so
I
now
feel like I'm tempted just to double up his pawns and just fucking snatch that knight. What do you think?
I think that temptation is not always good, and we want to ask ourselves if he has a threat.
He well, maybe he wants to push that pawn and bust that center open, maybe?
Well, it's a logical move for him, but before he does, you can continue your development with tempo. But in this case, I'm a little bit sneaky because developing is not only getting the rooks out, I consider a window for your king as part of your development. So if you could do it with tempo, then all the better
Is
for
that
you.
is that what you had in mind?
Yes,
All right.
h3. And those
Okay.
are the kind of moves that get to them because now is like getting uncoordinated with his pieces because if he gets the bishop to e6, which is probably the most logical square, then his rook is a little bit annoyed or misplaced on e5.
That's true.
And if he moves somewhere else, then like the bish will be sad. So I feel like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe
that's
in the next
an
move.
annoying move, huh?
And the only reason I came up with this move is not because I calculated the bishop will be bad. I just wanted to develop with tempo. Okay, and now you have a
This is
pleasant choice.
interesting.
But first, does he have a threat?
Not immediately, just besides exchanging these bishops.
Put the rook, either rook on either rook open file, and you'll be doing awesome. And
Either one on either one, huh?
yeah,
All right.
but I prefer, of course, something that's more active because one of them creates a pin. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And I just want to mention that these kind of moves that don't threaten anything but improve your position are the most annoying to deal with. Just because you're not threatening anything and your position improves, he simply it's not easy for him to respond because he has nothing to respond to. He can't react to anything. He has to come up with a good move of his own, but this is much more difficult in chess.
Yeah, I like my position here. Gotta
So,
tell you.
yeah, so you see how you were tempted to take his knight? Even though it's good for you strategically, it makes his life much easier because he can just capture back and then put a rook on the file and attack your b2 pawn, like put a rook
Yeah.
on b8. His life will be easier, even though both moves might be equal in strength. If you don't threat or don't force the situation, then even the 1900s will fall like dominoes. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but I don't know if there is a better word for it.
No. That House of Cards that could
Yeah,
work
fall
too.
like cards maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Knight
All right.
takes d3.
Okay.
Tempo.
I should leave my knight. My knight on f4 is good, so I want to leave him there.
Oh yeah, but both are actually good. But I like the idea of gaining a tempo on the rook. But I also like what you just said because you're implementing already what I said earlier. You don't want to force the position and you don't want to go backwards. So, yeah, I like.
But then he's probably just gonna swing in there with his knight to boot me off that square.
Yeah, but let's do it because there's no reason anything should be bad for us if we improve our position. Just be careful. If he
I
plays
have to be
knight
careful here
b4,
because if he attacks by going to knight b4 and I go up to d4 with my queen, then he can fork me.
yeah,
So I
but
gotta.
his rook is hanging, so this is an
Oh
important
yeah,
detail.
yeah. Okay,
So,
okay.
so these kind of small predictions are very important, as I said, especially in blitz. And well, even if he plays knight c5, queen d4 will attack both pieces. So you see queen takes d3 that you suggested. I wanted to take with the knight, you play the other move, and it's more, maybe both are fine, but this one doesn't force the position. And there are two immediate consequences. First one is thinks, which is good for you. And the second one, there's a very high chance you will make a mistake, either now or later, because it just cannot play when nothing is forced. It's so much more difficult.
So what's my just general goal right now with this position? Like not short-term tactics, but what's my long-term strategy? If I'm thinking about how to keep the position the way it is or improve it, what are my goals here?
Okay, first, no threat. So what is the piece that you can improve?
My rook.
You see? You just need to ask the right question at the right time. By the way, when you're more advanced, there are more questions that you can ask. But as long as you master these two, it's like wax on and wax off.
So the questions are what's my opponent's threat, and then what's the second question?
Which is the worst placed piece, or which piece can I improve the most with one move? So I like to rephrase it, which is my worst placed piece.
Why don't I take that pawn?
Careful, your queen is on the way. You will be the last one capturing, but you will lose your queen in the process. So it's probably a good idea to ask yourself if he has a threat, and if not, think of a way to improve your position. And as I said, all your pieces are in good squares, and it's not easy to keep improving. And I'll suggest a move that Petrosian might have played here. It's not necessarily a great move, but just to pass the move to him and see what happens. You can go a3.
That's what I was thinking.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why am I ruining the experience for you by reading your mind?
That's a nice little waiting move. Give him the rope to hang himself with.
And by the way, I don't know why, but I like, in my head, these kind of moves, h3 and a3, are associated with the Russian culture, because many Russian players, they make these moves, and it's so difficult to handle over the board. At least throughout my career.
You were born in Israel, right? Or were you born in Russia?
I think I'm almost the only Israeli who's not speaking Russian among the top players. So again, no threat. You can continue the same idea of grabbing space on the queen side, and without threatening anything. And these two moves are very high class because you really don't do anything. But
I am a classy son of a bitch, Tal.
Exactly. And as long as he has the move, you see, you'll probably win by time the way this is going. As long as you don't force the position. And unless, of course, you can gain material. But, okay, now, he has a threat. He wants to ruin your pawn structure, right?
Yep.
And his rook is a little bit misplaced. So you could do something that I wouldn't recommend normally. It's just to fall back with the knight. And there is a reasoning behind it. I'll explain after you play it.
No, yeah, I think I get you. I think I understand.
Knight back to the center. And the reasoning is, even though I'm moving backwards, we have more space. Do you agree?
Yes.
And when you have more space, one of the principles in chess is not to exchange pieces, because it's just like he has an apartment with one room. So it's much more difficult for him if 5 people live there than if 4 people live in this one room.
Right, yeah.
So we don't want to exchange if possible. And this is a typical move for Petrosian, as we mentioned earlier. It looks like he's going backwards, but in fact, his opponent is feeling like he's getting squeezed. Okay, now you have to be a little bit careful. He has no threat, but you don't want to make mistakes here. So we want to keep improving our pieces somehow. So I feel like the knight on
Would
e2 is the worst placed piece in your position, so maybe you can somehow bring it closer to the center.
But I thought I didn't want to exchange.
I agree, but in this particular move order, I'll show you later. Just make it first because I want to preserve the time situation. I agree, but now that he played knight e4, his d5 pawn is a little bit loose, and if he takes on d4, just I feel like tactically it's good for you. Oh, now rook c3, queen takes d4, of course. You want to have an isolated pawn. And you're attacking a7. And he did manage to release some of the tension. But, okay, now you can just get the pawn, right? But he still has a weakness on d5. Earlier, there was no way to exchange the knights. Okay, now you don't want to take. You don't want to take because then the d5 pawn will not be weak anymore. So you want to just move the rook. And the d5 pawn will remain weak for as long as we control it. We don't want to let him push to d4. So, again, just ask yourself if he has a threat.
No threat.
Yes.
Well, no threat. What if I offer him an exchange here?
There's no need. I feel like you just have to think if he has a threat. If he doesn't, you can bring your queen back to the center because
that's what I was thinking here. Should I? No, I shouldn't. All right, I'm gonna do that.
Many people think that when you have a material advantage, you want to force exchanges, but it's not true. You just want to improve your pieces, and the exchanges will happen naturally.
What if I push e4 here?
That would be lovely.
I'm gonna do it.
And also indirectly protecting f2, which might be weak. So, yeah, now you can grab.
Now I can take with my queen, right?
Both are fine. I like with the pawn, but
I did it.
I mean, it's not bad, but just.
All right, now he's got a threat. He's got a threat.
So now you can protect it while threatening the exchange of queens or exchange of rooks. Both are fine. Okay, now you can also improve your position while threatening his queen. Do you see it?
Yes.
I'm not sure it's the best move, but actually, you know what? How about just you?
I can just take his pawn, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was considering. I was just making sure it's not losing anything. Okay, so we don't have too much time, but he's suffering even more. Okay, so he has a threat.
He does.
You can exchange. I guess it shouldn't be bad for you. And he will take back. Now he has a huge threat. You have to respond.
I do.
But you don't want to be too passive. So if you can defend with the queen, it will be ideal. And there are several ways to do it. This is probably the best one. Another idea, by the way, was queen b8 check earlier, but you don't. Okay, now you're so much up in material you can afford the exchange of queens even if you ruin your pawn structure, yeah? 3 pawns are a lot, and of course he doesn't want to. And now he has no threat once again. So I like to, what I said earlier, I want to play g3 and king g2, just slowly, improving my position.
Yeah, I almost made a real stupid move right there, to be honest.
Yeah. So you can go. Okay, g4 was weakening your king. I want to play g3, but it's fine. Just play king g2.
Well, I was looking at this move.
You don't have. This is fine, but just be careful with the time. He's threatening the f2 pawn. You have to go back probably. Now you can go 1 square to the right, protecting everything, or 2 squares to the right, doesn't matter. And again, you can mate him now, but that's another story. Now, okay, put the rook behind the pawns. Do you know how to do it? And now you can just push. And don't lose the b pawn. Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
Why?
And bring the king to the center.
Okay. All right, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you can bring the king all the way to the center. No need to be afraid.
But
you can also
my
move the
pawn
first. Move the pawn f4 quickly. And now bring the king to the center. Not a lot of time. King c1. Take the rook. He pre-moved. Yeah, now just push the pawns. Okay. Don't repeat the position. Rook, move the rook. Yeah. Nice. This was
Yes, Tal!
this was probably the most exciting game I've ever seen in my life.
It's Tal. Oh, that was fun.
Oh man. So
Oh my God, I am a grandmaster.
almost.
Almost. This is true. I think we have time for one more here because we got about 10 minutes left in this tournament.
Yeah.
Woo! That one hurt. That one hurt my brain at the end of it.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I agree. It's a matter of practice, I would say. It was like, this is why I prefer to play with increment, like 2 seconds increment per move. This way it doesn't get too crazy at the end.
Yeah, I would have been boned if he would have had incremental there.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been good for me.
Yeah. So, but this was a decent game. I have no regrets. The only thing I regret in this stream is the bish.
The bish.
Getting traded.
So wait.
Okay. Remember?
Well, how do you avoid the fried liver again? I don't even know. All right, we'll do it like this. We're good.
All right. So you managed to avoid the fried liver attack once again, and now you want to just, let's say you can play simple moves to develop. Again, d6 first probably. This is a good move, but you want to play d6.
D6, okay.
Yeah, and well, now you want to play h6. I know it's not the most classical way to develop, but bishop g5 can be very annoying sometimes.
Sure, yeah, I
now-
got you.
This is a decent move. Don't rush. Now you have to be a little bit careful. The reason I didn't like this move too much is that if you go to h5, after g4, your bishop will be bad. So I was thinking to bring it back to the center, to e6. By the way, if the tournament ends, they will still let you finish the game, so don't worry.
Okay.
So
Right.
I think that now you have to develop probably your queen, but first, before you do it, and you see the maneuver that he was doing with the knight, he's bringing it to g3.
Yeah.
So you want to do the same thing in this structure, to get your knight to e7 and to g6, but don't do it quite yet, because if you do knight e7, d4 can be a little bit annoying, right? With tempo on your bishop. So this is a little bit of an advanced move, but it's very logical when you think about it. It's bishop back to a7. And you go backwards, and the idea is that d4 doesn't come with the tempo, so you don't have to give up the center. You can just go knight e7, knight g6 practically after every move he makes.
I'm playing against the number one
Nothing in this life
player.
will come for free, so get out your wallet, shake your dollars with
There we go.
me. I need a dollar. A dollar is
Is that your ringtone?
I think it's the first donation I received in like
Oh,
many months.
I see.
Yeah.
Tal, what's your Twitch channel here, just so they know where you're at?
It's called Chess Juice.
Chess Juice?
Yes.
There you go. If you guys want to check out Tal's channel, Twitch TV/Chess Juice.
Thanks. And it's not only me. I have other 8 members who happen to also be from Israel. Hence the name.
Oh, you guys are like a team.
We usually play separately, but we stream. Some of us are busier in certain days, so we are 9 of the, let's call it, potentially best players in the Israeli chess.
Yeah, not necessarily a chess team, but a stream team. You all take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the lowest rated player there is still an international master.
I would love to visit Israel one of these days, man. I've never been there.
Yeah. Same here with the US. Waiting for
Oh, you've
an
never been to the
opportunity
US.
with a
So now I'm
tournament.
going to continue with my move, right? The one that we were thinking.
Yeah, 97. And then knight g6. And that's what I was explaining earlier. You don't want to release the tension. You want to go knight g6. So you see why bishop a7 was important?
Yeah. It keeps pressure on that diagonal.
Exactly.
On his f2 pawn, which is a really annoying diagonal.
Yes. So.
Okay.
Let's see. Now you want to develop your pieces, but the queen is still good on d8. You don't need to move it. So do you have an idea which piece is logical to develop now? Now which of the rooks?
The light squared bishop maybe, or
is already kind of developed. So I'm thinking like one of the rooks, because one file will definitely be open soon.
The D file, right?
For black, I think it would be the E file, but it can also be the D file. I see what you think. Yeah, if he captures and you capture with the pawn.
What if I do that?
This is fine. I was just thinking rook e8 is a little bit more flexible, because then maybe you have a threat. I'm not sure. Now, with the rook... Okay, I'll say why this move doesn't look good in my eye. The rook on e1 is indirectly threatening your queen. You see?
Yes,
and
I do.
This is always annoying. There's always potential for some messy things to take place. But worry not, my son. You can still bring the rooks to the center.
All right. I'm gonna do this one first.
You don't want to move the a rook yet, because then d takes e5 will be attacking your
really
bishop
annoying.
a7.
Yeah, that'll be annoying, huh?
Yeah. By the way, this guy's the top seed, right? Is the
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, and not only this, that is also playing, in my opinion, like very well, even for a 2080. So
all right.
Yeah, and just
so now
as I was saying
take.
it, he was releasing the tension. So
now I should take, right? The bishop?
Well, you can do it, but the problem is that he has an intermediate move, e takes f6. Yeah, it's not a good move. So you need to take the pawn first. That's nice. That's nice. And now,
now my rook is in a really annoying spot.
Agreed. So the next move will probably be rook a8. By the way, in the opening, one of the reasons we developed the pieces, the light pieces, the knights and bishops, is so that we will have a connection between the rooks. At least that's what I was taught as a child. I didn't really get it, but it's kind of important to have a connection between the rooks. And now, by the way, you have a very nice tactical shot. Can you spot it?
Yeah. No. I mean, I can open. Okay.
A very nice tactical shot.
What about knight to g5?
4.
G4. I mean, yeah.
He has to take, and then what do you do?
I take his yeah. I like it. I like this move. I like it.
Nice. You can take the knight or the pawn first. It doesn't matter. And don't rush. Usually.
Ooh, I feel good right now. This has got to be good, right?
Yeah. Now, which piece is better to capture g4? Which is more active?
The knight.
I'm actually, as I'm asking, I'm not sure what's the answer myself, but I like to take with the bishop. It's just a matter of taste, because it's like comes with a tempo, and knight takes is not threatening mate because he has king f1. So this one comes with tempo, but
but he can hit me with a tempo right now by going to d.
But even if he doesn't, you're gonna go rook back to a8. So it's not really a tempo.
Okay. All right.
So both moves are fine. Maybe your move was even better. I don't know. But it's just this one feels like the bishop is improving.
Yeah,
as you predicted, rook a8.
Oh, we're gonna fuck this guy up, Tal.
We're gonna beat the top seed. What a way to end the tournament.
Oh, if I pull this off, / we pull this off.
What am I even doing? I don't get it.
All right. All right, Papa Tal. That's what I'm going to call you from now on, Papa Tal. I see, but like when I look at this, it's not very clear to me how to continue.
Okay, so there are some tactical ideas, but before I dive too deep into concrete things, let's talk strategically first. The rook on a8 is the worst piece, right?
Yes.
And you have one open file, so what can you deduct from these two facts?
And I have one open file. Maybe it's good to double up on that file.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fairly easy to do. And as I said earlier, it doesn't force anything, so it will be much more difficult for him to respond. And by the way, now before you make the move, there is a very, very nice way for you.
I think I see it.
But he has a defense, maybe? No, I think he doesn't. Okay, if you see it, don't play it yet. Let's be disciplined. Calculate in our mind until the end. Okay?
Are you talking about bishop to f3?
It's possible, but bishop f3 has no threats. At least not direct threats.
Okay.
Don't play it. Even if you take 3 minutes, it will be fine. Okay, what is the
move? So knight to f3 check.
Yeah.
At which point he has to take with the pawn. At which point I take with the bishop. And then how does he defend against queen to h1?
Okay, so there are two variations to this branch. The first one is knight h2, and then you have to spot
knight h2.
Knight to h2.
I see.
And you have to spot a mating idea here. Unless it doesn't. If you don't, then you will lose, probably.
Okay. All right. So. And then he goes knight to h2. And then would I just lift my rook?
There is a forced mate.
No, there's not. I have a forced mate right now?
No, I mean, after knight h2, you can play a move that leads to a forced mate. Usually you think about checks. Right?
Okay, all right. Okay, so then I would go queen to h6.
h6? You mean h3, but it's not with check. Yes. You will have knight takes f3. Do you see?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So after knight h2, let's do it from the start. Knight f3 check. G takes f3. Bishop takes f3. Knight h2. Do you see it in your mind?
Queen to g5?
Exactly. And then queen g2 mate. Boom. And I forgot to mention there is a second variation. I calculated it. You had to foresee it also. This one. And now there is another idea that I had to spot before getting excited.
And
I want you to find it. Don't play it. Just tell it to me.
Queen to h3.
Exactly. And now he's not threatening your bishop, so it's just an inevitable mate. And by the way, if he goes bishop f7 check, and you take, you will have queen c4 check and queen f1 defending. Do you see it?
Queen to c4 check.
Let me just say it slowly. Bishop takes f7 check. You take with the king. Queen c4 check, followed by queen f1, and he's defending from mate.
Did he just resign?
He resigned, yeah.
Hey, Tal! We beat the #1 seed!
Yes.
Oh my God, Tal, that was fun, man. We got to do that again sometime.
For sure. By the way, today I actually opened the Patreon page. I was planning it for a very long time.
Okay.
And, I wanted to grab this chance to mention it because.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, throw out any plugs that you got.
Yeah, I mean there is just a video that I released on my channel. If anyone can just type my name, probably Tal Baron on YouTube, you can find it. And,
okay.
Basically it's about reimbursing my many expenses for playing chess against stronger players. It costs a lot of money to travel and so on.
Yeah.
So,
okay, if you guys are interested in checking out Tal's page, so once again, his Twitch page is twitch.tv/chessjuice.
Yes.
And then on YouTube, if you just search Tal Baron, you should be able to find his YouTube channel there. So if you guys want to stop by, show him some love for taking some time out of his day to give a novice chess player some lessons, that would be cool, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna get some lunch, so I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. If you have time to do that again, we should definitely do that, because I'm pretty sure the viewers dug that too.
Yeah, I play a tournament tomorrow in Holland, and then I'll be back. Yeah, so and we.
Okay, yeah, let's figure out a time in a week or so and run it back.
That's great. So thanks a lot for accepting this collaboration, coming back to the chess arena.
Yeah.
After all this time.
Yeah.
And,
that was a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun.
yeah, me too. Surprisingly, because it's not that easy to explain things, but I feel like I'm becoming a philosopher today. So, yeah.
Well, I studied. I mean, for as novice as I was, I really did spend a lot of time studying opening theory and studying older grandmaster games. So I put a lot of time into this game when I was younger. It's been about 3 or 4 or 5 years that I've been pretty out of practice with it. So it's good that we did this instead of me being a total novice, because I was able, even if I wasn't able to see the moves right away, I was able to follow your logic pretty much every time. So
yeah, it's not even my logic. It's just these questions immediately lead to the same answer all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that was. I'm glad that you find it helpful, and hopefully some of the viewers will improve as a result also.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes. So yeah, I won't hold you back any longer from your lunch. And
yeah, great. I gotta get some food in me, but yeah, I'll reach out to you in a week or two, and we'll do this again.
That will be lovely. So thanks a lot once again.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Take care.
So I think we hung up the conversation. I am not a big expert in this particular part of the technology. I didn't want to interrupt with his part of the stream, but I will quickly mention a big, huge thank you to. I wish I could name the user, but the guy who donated $20 or girl, who knows, is named I Love Tal, and I hope they refer to Mikhail Tal, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, because I don't feel like I've earned it quite yet. I'm still yet to prove myself. I feel like I have to improve a lot before I can sense like I've accomplished something meaningful. And that's where the Patreon page comes in. And I want to say a few words about it just before I go off. So let's put some game in the background just in case. Actually, if I press view tournament first, we'll see what happened. So as you can see, these are the winners of the tournament that we arranged. Probably it's worth mentioning. So Thompson 1304, 1800, finished with 43 points, still with the flame, losing only one game in the entire tournament. I wonder who he lost against. Alright, against the 1200. Okay, so he won all the games. That's quite impressive. Then Behruz 1999, probably a young player, took the second place with 35 points, and then Sumit Singh with 33 points. And where were we with Hachi? We didn't get many games in because we were very disciplined in finding the best moves, and this system rewards playing faster and getting more games in. And let me see if I can find where we were. I was following Hachi. Number 37 out of 238. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of players that took part in this tournament. I was expecting like 20, 25 tops. So Hachi, number 37. That's very nice. Possessing the flame at the end of the event. And I have to say that it was very nice that after 2 losses in a row, even though he wanted to rush, he managed to hold back and to actually restrain himself and go back to what I was talking about earlier with the two basic questions. And as you can see, most of the wisdom is already within. We just have to avoid all the noise and nonsense to distract us from playing bad moves. And now, before leaving, I want to mention what I'm doing with the Patreon page. I'm probably gonna change it a little bit here and there because this is basically a draft what I did in that page. There's no link, I believe, in this particular video. I'll add it later. But the point is quite simple. My dream since I was very young was to be in the top 100 players, among the top 100 chess players in the world, so I can join the Israeli national team and continue play chess for the rest of my life, while I can't say really making a decent living, but while, let's say, being able to afford to continue to play chess and to continue to improve. And well, in order to achieve it, I'm not sure if I'll succeed, but I have to try. In order to achieve it, I have to travel a lot because there are not enough strong tournaments in Israel. And in order to improve, I have to play against stronger players. And those tournaments cost quite a lot of money. And I'm also probably going to pay for things like training and if I can afford it at some point. But ideally now I would love to be able to go to tournaments like Gibraltar and the European Individual Championship, and like each of them costs around $600, sometimes even more, and I'm not really earning any money from chess, so not much at least. So it's not enough to let's say I forgot the word, but I think reimburse the expenses, but it is quite in like, okay, I'll phrase it again. It's not enough to reimburse the expenses, let alone make a living or do anything that normal people do, like, pay for food and stuff and the bills. So I can, of course, teach a lot of lessons, and I'm sure some people would like that and try to earn money, but I was never thinking this way. If I were, I wouldn't have opened this YouTube channel. I wouldn't have been so much into giving and sharing my knowledge with you guys. And I feel like nobody has to give anything back, but if for one reason or another someone has $1 per month or $2 per month to spare, and they can help me with this goal, I won't have to shift my attention away from chess and from playing chess, and I will be able to have time to do more of these kind of things much more often. So I hope it makes sense. I hope it's not too much to ask, especially that I'm not expecting anything. I just figured I should give it a shot. And well, I feel like it will help my channel grow also, because all the content that will be related to the rewards, there are very cool rewards that should probably worth more than the money. All the cool rewards will be related to videos on the channel, which will create even more high quality content. So that's it. Enough mumbling about my own ideas and goals. This was very, very fun, and it's the second. I did it also previous week with Asaf Givon. This was also lovely. He's also a chess coach, by the way, but he also teaches at all levels. And you can check the video on my channel and see the link to his coach page. And I'll mention that in this regard, I feel like I'll do this kind of sessions with ghosting more often, but because I don't feel they really improve my chess that much, I will limit that as much as possible, because I have to put my own interest first, which is improving my chess as quickly as possible. and hope you guys will forgive me for it. And the fact that I might increase my rating and my level quickly can also affect the quality of the content that I have here. At least I hope so. So that was nice. And I feel like I'm improving every day, and I'm not letting any distractions shift my attention away. Not only when it comes to money, also other things in life I want. It's very important to me. It's been my dream since I was very young. So that's more or less it. I want to mention that we had more than 200 viewers for the majority of this stream. And by the way, I'll put, in case someone is bored with what I'm saying by now, then, or at least reach the limit of their attention, you can look at the top-rated Blitz game in the background. So, is it a bullet game? Yeah. Penguin Jim, one of the best bullet players in the history of lichess, also known as Andrew Tang. So, as I was saying, I feel like this was a good experience. 200 or more people were watching throughout most of the stream, and I'm sure many more will watch in the coming weeks and months and years to come, and maybe learn something from this video. This would be lovely. And I feel very flattered that people are interested with what I have to say and find it useful, or at least entertaining. This is really far from obvious. Every single day, every single time it's happening, it makes me feel special. And being appreciated as a chess player is very rare in this world nowadays, especially in Israel. That's what I feel. So I'm very happy about it. And yeah, I'll continue to upload videos regularly. And I'll just mention the regular things. I wasn't very interactive with the chat. I promise you I'll do it more often in the future when I don't have someone like Hutch on the other end. I don't want to distract him and his viewers. So thanks everyone who were very interactive and participating in the chat. Thanks for the people who were moderating. I noticed there were a few moderators. I didn't even remember I added them, and they were doing a fantastic job. And I also want to mention that I have a Facebook page. I'm still working out the details. I'm not very good with this technology, but there's gonna be a daily tactic on Facebook and some updates. So if you like what I'm doing, you can like the page on Facebook, and it will help support me. And there is a Twitter account you can follow. There are many links. I didn't put them in this particular video, but you can see them in the rest. So every single bit of support helps me out. And you can't imagine how much it helps to see more support from you guys, because we have a small community. 4,500 are a lot of people, but in terms of YouTube it's not a lot. But I feel like if each one gave a little bit of support, not necessarily money, just a little bit of their time dedicated to pressing a button, I would be so much more motivated to continue. So yeah, it's really nice. So once again, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you learned something from this video, or at least enjoyed watching it. I want to invite you also to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like it, only if you want to be notified. And for all those who are already subscribed, there is a bell on the right side of the subscribe button. Nowadays the subscribe is kind of a dummy button, and only if you press the bell you will receive notifications. And if you don't want the notifications, then you can change them in the user preferences, but press the bell if you like the content that I'm making. It helps support it. So, and not in a materialistic way. So that's all very nice. So as I was saying earlier, I thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it, or at least found it somewhat entertaining. And if you want to learn some more, then keep watching the next videos.